Meestal krijg je dan te horen, die veranderen toch nooit niet, laat die dan maar gewoon zitten. Het is niet omdat we een fout maken dat we niet kunnen veranderen, maar dat we niet geen mensen meer zijn.
Daar is een wielerploeg opgericht met 6 gedetineerden. Ze rijden op rollen op het virtuele platform Zwift.
As a retailer who makes sport accessible, Decathlon gave 6 prison inmates the chance to become the first e-cycling team for prisoners.
Dat is een mijlpaal, hè? Dat het online is in de gevangenis.
Racing with people from the outside world on Zwift, as anonymous athletes instead of outcasts.
In dat programma zitten er ook aan de andere kant andere mensen ook op een fiets te fietsen, gelijk ik.
We put their schedules online so the Zwift community could join their rides.
Ik heb wel Zuid-Amerikanen tegengekomen, Chinezen, Britten, tot van overal eigenlijk.
Reconnecting them with society from behind bars.
When I heard about this initiative, I was just like, I need to ride with these guys. Just show them that people outside care about them and they want them to change and they want them to have a better life.
A podcast documented the impact on their mental health.
Van het moment dat ik wat verzuring en zo had in mijn benen, en dan begon hij mij te motiveren, dat was heel mooi, dat was echt, ja.
Showing the real power of a virtual sport.
De minister van Justitie en 5 kompanen die het gaan opnemen tegen 6 gevangenen die ook thuis rijden hun tijdelijke woonplaats hopelijk al.
Het maakt deel uit van datgene waar ik echt wel op inzet en dat is zinvolle detentie.
Lebanon is collapsing.
The scale of the crisis for ordinary Lebanese people is evident everywhere you look.
It is out of petrol, internet, electricity, food, medicine. The coming 2022 elections, however, provide a glimmer of hope in providing some stability. But the current government, in a bid to hold on to power, has been making excuses to delay elections. Excuses such as the lack of paper and ink to conduct elections. So to defend democracy, An-Nahar, the newspaper of the people, decided to publish the country's much-awaited 2022 elections edition by not printing it. Instead, An-Nahar donated the paper and ink from the unprinted edition to print voting ballots.
تحت عنوان مطبعنا الجريدة لنطبع صوتنا للتاريخ أن الصحيفة لم تصدر طبعتها الورقية اليوم وستقدم الورقة والحبر لطباعة جزء من مستلزمات انتخابات عام 2022.
تصير الانتخابات بأي طرق من الطرق لازم تصير الانتخابات.
Found at every newspaper distributor in Lebanon on February 2nd was an empty news rack with a message explaining our cause and a link to an online edition. Trucks delivered that day's entire supply of paper and ink to the government's printing associate. The non-existent issue went viral. We had sparked a movement which people joined to ensure that elections happen. Press, private, and recycling companies also supported the movements.
We will support this movement with all our resources. The elections have to happen on time.
Even election candidates spoke up for the cause. An-Nahar had revived hope amongst the Lebanese for true change to take place. With the unprinted edition, we didn't just save paper and ink. We saved democracy. As of now, the Lebanese elections are scheduled to go ahead as planned. And the government has stopped mentioning the shortage of paper and ink to print ballots.
In India, an alarming 23 million girls drop out of school every year at the onset of puberty. I thought I was dying. So much blood, I didn't know what was happening. No one spoke to me about it, not at home, and it wasn't even in my school book. I was too ashamed to come back to school. Periods. A topic so taboo that no one in India, not even mothers, talk about it. The only place where girls could have learnt about it is school. But because of the same taboo, even the National Council of Education never printed this chapter. Introducing The Missing Chapter. Together with P&G Whisper, we designed a chapter for schoolgirls to understand the simple biology behind periods. The conversation was sparked with a film about 3 rebellious girls on a mission to spread period education. The red piece of paper became the symbol of our revolution. News channels picked up the missing chapter and read it live on prime time TV.
Missing chapter Aru strong, Aru healthy.
To reach the remotest parts of India, we adapted the chapter in 28 native art styles and languages and put it on school and village walls. India lent its voice for our petition by reading the chapter on social media.
The more people that can get access to that kind of education, the less of a problem period management will be.
The collective voices were heard by the country's decision makers.
We must eliminate the taboo and save millions of India's daughters and ensure their education is not affected.
When it comes to adults in our state getting the vaccine, demand has been dropping now for weeks.
Have you seen this yet? A digital billboard driving around Charlotte with this message.
Don't get vaccinated, Wilmore Funeral Home. So this truck drove around Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte during Sunday's Carolina Panthers game.
This advertisement right here riding around during the Panthers game is hilarious.
Several people snapped photos of the van, many of which immediately went viral on social media.
And then there's a link to Wilmore Funeral Home. But here's the thing. Wilmore Funeral Home isn't actually a funeral home.
People who went to the website found this. Wilmore Funeral Home, get vaccinated now. If not, see you soon. Well, the funeral home is not real. When people clicked on the site, it brought them to the StarMed, a healthcare provider in the area,
where you can make a vaccine appointment.
Anytime you get one person vaccinated, it's a win.
Carrying an advertisement that read, "Don't get vaccinated." It was being
campaña para promover la vacunación contra el COVID.
What's on the other side of that website? It's very, very genius of what they did.
And so I think everybody's wondering, did it work? Here's what we've discovered. StarMed, the area urgent care medical facility that you worked with on this campaign, tells us they have seen a 22% increase in vaccine appointment registrations.
Coral reefs are dying. And the fish and communities that rely on them are facing catastrophe. But there is hope. Sheba is committed to bringing coral reefs back to life. That's why we grew the Sheba Hope Reef, a living billboard made of regrown coral, the first piece of outdoor that's visible on Google Earth. Supported by the UN and the WWF, Sheba created a new solution to rebuild a dead reef in Indonesia. Using the Reef Star system to create the perfect environment for coral to thrive, Sheba's marine biologists regrew the coral to form the Hope Reef, a living, growing piece of outdoor. A YouTube channel raises money from views and ad revenue for more builds. And we partnered with Google, so Hope becomes an educational showcase.
The reef can be seen on Google Earth and has been regrown to spell the word hope.
Over 1 million people have explored the site on Google Maps, and it is diveable on Street View. In just 2 years, the coral reef has grown back from 99% dead to 70% alive. In fact, the regrown coral around the word hope is growing so well, it will eventually swallow up Sheba's living billboard. And hope is continuing to grow, with governments worldwide now adopting our system. Sheba's living billboard isn't just growing, it's singing.
Listen carefully, and you can hear the strange sound of a coral reef coming back to life.
For over more than 4 decades, Portugal lived under a fascist dictatorship. Thousands of people were tortured and killed. The blue pencil, used to censor artists, became a symbol of repression. Penguin Books wanted to show its love for the Portuguese culture. So to celebrate the anniversary of the end of the fascist government, Penguin Books offered blue pencils to Portuguese contemporary artists. Using a technique known as blackout poetry, the writers had to choose from words present in the fascist constitution to create their own poems about freedom and love. The remaining words were covered by beautiful illustrations. Turning a symbol of repression into a book, a timeless masterpiece that celebrates freedom of speech. The Portuguese reconstitution was launched on the day of the Carnation Revolution. The book grabbed the attention of the Portuguese people and the media, quickly becoming a bestseller. It became part of the permanent collection of the Aljube Museum, which is based in a former political prison. It's being used at schools to teach students the history of the revolution through art. And it has proved, once and for all, that Penguin Books has a Portuguese heart.
Everyone used to talk about Kyan, how much of a wonderful talent he was, and he was always destined to play at the top.
He was the leader, he was the main man, he was the best player.
Kyan Prince had everything to live for, but he lost his life outside the school gates of the London Academy in Edgware.
After teenager Kyan Prince was stabbed and killed outside his school in London, his potential is finally being recognised as a professional footballer, the footballer he should have been.
Oh my word! What a goal by Kyan Prince!
Goal! Listen, man, EA, this is badass. He will be included into FIFA 21 as part of the kickoff and career mode game modes.
Meninggal dunia yaitu Kyan Prince.
Kyan Prince in FIFA, age 30.
Kyan Prince murió defendiendo a un amigo.
We're trying to impact the next generation, make changes with knife crime.
This has always been about Kyan's legacy changing lives.
We can help them change their mindset and lead them to success in the same route that Kyan was leading his life to success.
When I was growing up, I never saw women that looked like me wearing the hijab, and I feel like that hindered my ability to kind of dream.
أديداس النقاب عن أول حوض للسباحة معلق على شكل لوحة إعلانية في
The first ever liquid billboard.
아디다스는 최근 세계 최초로 두바이 해변에 액체 광고판을 선보였습니다.
Swimming is for everyone, like a billboard type setup, and Adidas there.
When I look around and I look at everyone, I feel that we are all the same in the water.
Millions of low-income women in Mexico cannot study or start a business because they don't have access to credit. 83% of them don't have a bank payment history that allows for verification of their payment behavior, thus having their loan applications rejected.
Al solicitar un crédito, nadie me lo ha querido dar porque no cuento con historial crediticio.
Paradoxically, they are women who have received loans from neighborhood stores all their lives, so they have a long credit history. Just that these credit records don't appear in the financial information centers, but the accounting records of thousands of shopkeepers throughout the country.
That is why We Capital, in search of the financial inclusion of women in Mexico, launched Data Tienda, a financial information center within the reach of banks, which recovers the credit history of millions of Mexican women from the neighborhood businesses' accounting records. To collect data, women should only enter the information of at least 5 trusted stores on datatienda.mx. So the system, through WhatsApp bots, automatically collects qualitative and quantitative information from shopkeepers, and it creates a credit score, which analyzes even more variables than the traditional information system.
Es una central de información financiera como cualquier otra, solo que con mujeres no bancarizadas. En Data Tienda podemos consultar su comportamiento de pago y darles crédito con un margen menor de riesgo.
Today, 23% of the women on the platform have received microcredits for their businesses. And in just a few months, over 10,300 credit histories have been generated with information from nearly 50,000 shopkeepers throughout the country.
Miles de mujeres han recibido microcréditos para sus emprendimientos gracias a Data Tienda.
Inclusión financiera para las mujeres en México.
Historias de crédito que cambian historias de vida.
No, a mí ya había 2 veces que me negaban el préstamo y hasta ahora me lo dieron.
Con el crédito que me hicieron, yo me compré esta máquina.
We are recovering credit histories to change life stories. Data Tienda.
Сейчас закинем в метро, и мы кончились, поэтому если сбор денег снова...
What we're seeing here is an attempt by Putin to wipe out.
UNESCO is incredibly concerned, of course, and will be holding a special session. And there is great fear that Russia will try to simply wipe it out.
Talk about an app that was invented and allows preservation of
Ukraine's Minister of Culture and Information Policy. I'll note that he is inside Ukraine.
So this is Andrei Первозванный monument. I decided to scan it to preserve it forever.
These monuments, they define us. We grew up with them.
We will not allow anyone to take this away from us. This is our culture.